Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the South Conservation Commission meeting. It's February 5th, 7 p.m. We're in hybrid at the Southwick Town Hall. Going to go around the table and introduce ourselves. Kev, you can start on your end.
Kevin Stoller,
Jerry Patria,
Norm Sheever,
Dennis Clark,
Andy Reardon.
And I'm Chris Pratt. And over on the other side here, we have
Lucas
Lucas Karen.
And Sabrina Pooler.
Welcome, everyone. Is there anybody who would have a public comment tonight? Sir, can you stand and give us your name and address, please?
Tom Smith, 6 Noble Speed Crossing.
Mm-hmm.
This is gonna be brief. I'm here today as I've just become aware that our neighborhood has been on frequent topics in these meetings. However, as someone who has years, the progress has yet to be seen. Our sidewalks in areas are and that they're not done yet. As they are well raised above the ground and dirt hasn't been filled in. I'm pretty sure I've seen some people pull up when drainage is happening in the neighborhood. There's a big pond in my yard, in the side, and that's my property. There used to be a nice grade coming down. The dirt they brought in to try and fill that in, it's still not filled in. It's low quality. It's almost equivalent to sand. And I would just like to understand if these things will be addressed and if in a reasonable amount of time, because currently they're once every few months, they're only once every few months and they come out for an hour, maybe less than that. And really no progress has been made. Even today, it was move one pile of dirt from one location and drive it around, dump it in another location to fill up one pothole. It's been like that for the past year and a half. Just want to raise awareness and see if there's anything that can be dealt with it.
No, I mean, we're working on the situation.
Yeah.
It's tough going.
Yeah.
We're in a situation where we can only put so much pressure on
Yep.
the person in charge.
Just raising concerns, yeah.
That
Yeah.
we're all concerned. It's not just environmental, it's DPW, so there's more than one of us trying to,
so where should they bring those
Problem.
issues? Those aren't really conservation.
right, that would be probably DPW as far as the other goes. As far as your land goes, I'm not really exactly sure. Mr. Didi, would you have any idea where to bring that problem?
To the selectman that lives on the street.
That would be a good idea.
I took control of it with some selectmen meetings. He had said he's now in charge of the whole project.
That's actually a good idea.
Start there.
Yeah,
Okay,
Thank you.
no, thank you. Anybody else?
anybody on Zoom?
I don't see any. Yeah. Okay, seeing no more hands up, we're gonna go to our first point of business. First public hearing is continuation. Proposed project is for removal of Beaver Lodge, has been removed without or withdrawn without prejudice, and I will read in. Dear Chairman Pratt and Commissioners, on behalf of the applicant Frank G. Grillo Enterprise LLC, we are herein respectfully requesting to withdraw without prejudice the notice of intent of application for the above referenced property. This request is being made so that a new notice of intent application can be submitted in the future with a different project scope of work. Should you have any questions regarding this matter, please do not hesitate to contact our office at Lebec. Okay. So I'll take a motion to withdraw that.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor, sir?
Yeah.
Dennis, I.
Nor I.
Chris Pratt, aye.
Jerry, I.
Kevin,
Okay, withdrawn.
Is that a motion to accept the withdrawal?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, next we're moving on to three.
They have removed some of the.
They did remove the lodge part. I got a call on that. I was away.
That was under the authority of the state.
That was a state, right?
Andy and I both witnessed the removal and no dredging took place.
No dredging, good.
Excellent.
Yeah, the machine they had actually had like a pincer on it.
Oh,
So
nice.
There's really no way you could have grabbed dirt if you wanted to.
Thank you very, for going out there. Okay. 3 Loomis Street, the proposed placement of the septic system in a well for a single family.
7:15 yet.
Oh, you're right.
You wanna do the minutes or something?
Yes, let's do that. Sounds like a great idea.
Nice catch.
We'll look, yeah. Yeah, the minutes for January 8th, 2024.
I have one correction, for the 662 College Highway. The last paragraph, it says Commissioner Solak made a motion to issue the certificate of compliance with the standard conditions. I think it should say Commissioner Solak made a motion to issue the order of conditions with the standard conditions and additional conditions, including monitoring for 2 years. Because the certificate of compliance would be issued when the project's completed.
Correct.
Yeah, yeah.
Can
Want to
I,
make sure we add in that monitoring for 2 years,
Yeah,
additional?
additional 2
So it's
years.
additional compliance order condition.
including additional monitoring for 2 years, right? That's the right way of what we're looking for.
I don't know how it's written.
Because as long as we have additional monitoring for
Yeah.
2 years, I think we're
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
Just to interrupt, Cliff Clark is requesting to record this meeting locally. Shall I give him permission?
I'll take a motion to allow Cliff Clark to, from the Westfield Evening News, to record this. Anybody want to make a motion to allow?
I'll make the motion to allow.
Second?
Sure, I'll second the motion.
Okay, Andy seconds, all in favor?
Dennis, I.
Chris Pratt, aye.
Jerry, I.
Kevin, aye.
All right.
One more thing on that same page, on 107 South Loomis. I think you mean instead of anonymous, I think you mean anonymous. Am I correct? The letter was. Instead of unanimous, should it be anonymous? As in unknown who sent it? Mine is on page 3, 107 South Loomis Street, second line. Let's please capitalize Diane Gale's name.
Mr. Chairman,
Who's speaking?
Richard Elsinger, 146 South Loomis Street. I'd like to have a discussion on 107 South Loomis when you get to it.
We probably are not going to be getting to it. That was our last meeting.
Still an old business.
Okay, if it's still no, yes.
Yeah.
It's on
Okay,
for, it's on for tonight.
yep, I see it down there. I didn't notice it earlier, but thank you. Yes, we'll
Okay,
get,
thank you.
Is it as amended?
I'll take a motion.
I'll second the motion to approve minutes.
All in favor?
Dennis, I.
No, no.
Chris Pratt, aye. Okay, unanimous. You have any updates you want to give us, Sabrina?
There is the annual town report in your packets. I think it's the last thing in your packets. If you want, just please read that and let me know if I can submit it to
Okay.
to Lisa at the select board's office.
You want to look at that?
You wanna get a picture for that? We got a full crew here tonight.
Yeah,
You got no map.
Oh, goodness.
and that's not here. He said he was gonna try.
Mhm.
Lucas can take his place.
There you go. You can, that looks good to me.
Good job.
Thank
Like
you.
our standard.
I'll make a motion to approve
The annual town report.
the annual town report.
I'll second that motion. All in favor?
Andy Reardon, aye.
Dennis, I.
Norm Cheever, aye.
Kev?
Kevin, aye.
So the MACC annual conference is going to be March 2nd, and it's actually going to be in person in Worcester at the Holy
Holy
Cross
Cross.
College. If you're interested in going, let Jean know and let her know which workshops you want to attend. That's the way to sign up. You actually need to pick the workshops. I've already reserved the town car, so we can meet here and head out together if that's what you want to do.
Sounds good to me.
So within the next week or so, just email your preferences to Jean.
Okay.
Okay.
What was the date of that?
March 2nd, it's on a Saturday. So the weekend right before our next meeting. Oh, speaking of our next meeting, our next meeting is scheduled for March 4th. And that's because a holiday is on the 19th. So that is about a month in between. Not sure if you guys want to consider a meeting in between or not.
No, we'll do like last time. If something does come up that's in need of attention, then we'll schedule a meeting.
Okay.
Like we did for January
Okey dokey.
8th.
And we've got like
Clock is very slow.
we got plenty to talk about. It's just I want to make sure that we have enough time to stay. So we have a new person here at the table, Lucas Karen.
Hello.
He's a Southwick High School student and he's involved or participating in the Diversified Learning Experience program. And he is going to be with me Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 10:30. For the next few months up until about like mid-May or
I think it's late-ish. I
Late
think
May.
it ends like the 30th or 31st.
Yep.
Great.
So if you see any emails from Lucas, it's
Well, no,
it's
not spam.
legit. He actually sent out the agenda Friday, the amended agenda.
Super.
So he's doing good so far.
Welcome, Lucas.
Thank you.
Appreciate your coming out.
Mhm.
Appreciate people being interested in conservation.
Yeah.
I wasn't even aware that there was such a thing until I was probably 40 years old, so.
Right.
That's
Uh-huh. Yeah.
cool.
So, yeah. Do you like it so far?
I'd say so, yeah. No, I hated it.
Uh,
It's awful here.
he's-
Oh,
You
Here,
signed,
you
you
don't
signed a
Jinx
contract.
it.
You can't leave.
Can't drop this class.
No, no.
All right.
I get an extra hour of sleep before I have to come. So it's
Win-win.
like- Win-win, exactly.
Yeah. You might get to go outside and do a site visit, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
All right, 7:15.
Okay, 3 South Loomis Street, the proposed project for the replacement of septic system and a well for a single-family dwelling. Portions of the proposed work will be located within the buffer zone. In addition, there will be a proposed vegetated wetland restoration.
You want me to set this up here? Or?
Sure. Yeah, we have a copy up here.
There's an easel right there. Oh, he colored his too.
Same colors though.
Almost.
So how you doing? I'm Mike Bowen from RLA, representing Michael Berman, our client for 3 South Loomis Street. We have existing conditions are bordering vegetated wetlands down here outlined in green, and isolated vegetated wetland in green as well. The pink outline are the 50 and 100-foot buffer zones. And we're proposing an upgrade to the septic system with the leach field in the front yard up here. A proposed well in the back And we also have some restoration area as some gravel got into the wetland area, so we're, have a restoration with 3 winterberry bushes and a red maple. So I'll open it up to you guys for any questions.
So this was originally just a septic review for me.
Mhm.
And because the well was relatively close to the wetland, that's why I suggested either an RDA or an NOI. I believe it came back as an NOI just because of that restoration. So that's the
Okay.
background for this one.
How close is the well to the septic?
25 feet.
Is
Or
that-
sorry, the well to the septic, it's 100 feet from the leach field and then 50 feet from the. septic.
Okay.
100 feet.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, it's 25 from the well to the.
Yeah, you don't, you don't wanna mix it.
Yeah, no.
That's what kind of, if you're using it for fertilizer, then it's gonna be okay.
What's the size of the tank on that? 1500?
I believe it is, this,
I'm just curious.
yeah, the design is done by a different company.
Sure, yeah.
But I believe they.
Standard, right then, okay.
So is that a replication?
No, it's just, restoring the area, they're gonna. add a little bit of
Restoration.
Gravel here, they're gonna
I
move
thought
that.
it read replicate, I thought I read replication in the notes. I was wondering why they were replicating.
Yeah, they're not really-
In my notes?
Yeah.
Where?
And your Sabrina notes.
Part, it would, I thought.
I'm pretty sure I wrote restoration. Maybe replication, it was somewhere.
Restoration is what we're looking to do. That's all we need to know.
Yeah.
So we'll go with that.
You're right.
Okay.
So I just have a couple things. So the wetland, oh, we also have DEP comments.
Okay.
Did you want to read that into the minutes or into the meeting?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You have, actually, you have it in your, everyone has it in their pocket. So on the top right-hand corner, it's gonna be NOI 292. I think it's highlighted in,
Appendix B,
This one here?
subset A.
and then
Oh,
nope,
MICA.
292 0417, I believe. The pink one, yep, and then the DEP comments are all the way in the back.
Picture.
Okay. That intern did that.
You can sort of see it.
His fault.
Okay, it says the commission should require monitoring reports for wetlands restoration, just as it does for projects where wetlands are legally filled and replicated or restored. So we want to make sure that we have that in our order.
Mhm. Okay, so he says monitor. So my comments would be that wetland restoration details are basically absent. We don't know the topography, we don't know how much you're going to be taking out. We don't know if you're gonna be replacing any soils there. We don't know how you're gonna be stabilizing the area. Is there gonna be a wetland seed mix as well as the 4 plants that you proposing
Yeah,
to
this
plant?
usually, still had the seed and the plants as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
but
just
the-
those details we would need.
The amount is written here, I don't know, the 440 square feet. Is roughly disturbed,
Mhm.
but if you're looking for detail, I'm sure we could provide that.
Yeah. So usually when we have a wetland delineation, we do have some determination data forms with photographs talking about vegetation. I'm not sure if the commission wants that or if this is okay.
Well, how do we know what he's gonna be monitoring if we don't know what it's supposed to?
Right, we should probably,
There's nothing on there
See.
for restoration? No.
Well, we are showing just the plants shown.
No wording though on there for,
No narrative?
Nothing specific about the restoration, no.
So I don't know what the commission.
So it's hard to hold somebody to a restoration when there's no descriptor for it. So we'd like to see a narrative for that. The amount of area being restored and how it's gonna be restored. So that we know it's acceptable to be, you know. Otherwise, we have nothing to judge it by.
Um,
And as far as the septic goes and the well goes, I mean,
looks fine.
yeah,
yeah,
you can't really put it anywhere else.
right.
Yeah,
But we can let you know that you can leave that part of the plan. We'll need to see more information on
the restoration.
the restoration, a proposal for the restoration.
It's something that I might recommend is having some sort of indication of where the wetland limits are. For example, aluminum pins that state like wetland area. Do not disturb, because this is relatively close to the house. They don't have much of a backyard, and they've already disturbed some wetland because they just didn't know. I'm not sure if the commission would be happy with that, but that's just something that I recommend.
It's kind of been standard on other projects, hasn't it, that they put boulders or.
That's for the buffer, but this is,
Right,
and the like the house is in the buffer, so this would be something
Right.
like along the edge essentially. Maybe in the buffer, I don't know, it's just a suggestion that I have maybe for you guys to ponder about.
My only
Mhm.
concern, I don't say a concern, but like, this is an existing house, so like,
Right.
every time somebody wants to do a septic, now we're gonna start making them do all this stuff to like
Well, I think-
existing yards, like.
It's not because of the septic necessarily, well, the well is just really close to the wetland.
Mhm.
If a septic is outside of the 50-foot buffer, I sign off on it.
Yeah,
But this one was a little hairy, and also there wasn't a delineation. What I asked for a delineation,
okay.
and when the delineation came
Yeah.
through, that's when the disturbed wetland happened. So
Okay,
this is,
yeah.
this isn't the normal
Okay,
thing.
alright,
Right, and is there a limit of, or where the yard is now, is that shown on the plan?
Yeah, we have a tree line shown and we have a silt fence also shown where the limit of work would be.
Would you put that into the order of conditions or the restoration plan to be submitted and approved before the
Project?
project?
Yes, I think we're gonna ask them to come back so that we know.
We're gonna have to come back and.
Right, so we're telling him he can leave the septic in the well. He doesn't really need to do anything with that, because I think we all agree that that's in good shape. But the restoration part, we do need to see before we can approve the plan, because that is part of the big picture.
Mhm. And just one other thing, the silt fence, you, in your diagram, you don't specify on the depth it should be buried. And in the past couple of projects that we've had issues with it not being buried properly. So if you could write depths of 8 inches, being buried, that would be awesome, because this is probably gonna go to the contractor, whoever, so
Yeah.
to have that specified so they know and it's written, that would be good.
They have typical diagrams. So you could-
Yeah, yep.
Standard boilerplate.
Good point, Sabrina.
Yeah, it's just been happening a lot, and if it can just be avoided, I'd
Get it
rather
down
avoid
there,
it.
he's the contractor. 'cause they're
Yeah,
who need
Right.
to be doing the work.
yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so we'll be looking for a continuation,
Request.
a request for continuation, which would indicate possibly, when, I mean, is this a rush job here, or,
They are looking to get this approved as soon as possible, yeah.
right?
Mm.
So it should mean probably we would be coming back for another meeting at some point before next month,
right,
so.
Well, what I was saying, you could actually issue the order of conditions tonight with a condition that that plan be submitted before the work starts.
Well, I think that,
If they're.
but
Then
could
we
we
have to
approve it?
approve the
We
plan
still have to have a
12
meeting to
weeks
approve the
Well,
plan.
Sabrina,
Okay, I don't mind doing that. I would,
You want me to approve? You don't wanna,
make us come back from meeting for just one thing and it would hold them up to do that.
We already discussed.
I don't, yeah, I mean, I don't want to hold you up. I
I mean,
mean,
what they want.
people need to have their septic working.
Sabrina, that's what she wants.
Right.
I mean,
Right, are they hauling dirt out or they just? How
with
far
the
are you going?
restoration,
Are you just raking the dirt off the top, like on Sam West, they're just going in the wood with shovels and taking the dirt off the top and not digging down and putting new soil. Right? So you guys just taking the wash out and then putting new plants, or are you digging out
No,
the
I believe
soil?
that they're
putting
putting
new
new
soil.
soil with the wetland mix or whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then with the plants, obviously.
Right,
Was there a dollar, a bond, discussed on this at all, or
We haven't.
should there be?
So no monuments and,
I don't think we
Maybe
need
it can-
monuments. I mean, it's existing house.
yeah.
They're gonna be doing the work. But I don't think they're looking to create a larger yard, you know, and go further into the wetland a little bit, a
the
yard.
the house is going to be essentially flipped. So
So are they not using the septic right now? Or did somebody buy it and
they're renovating it and they're going to sell it, from my understanding.
I don't know the details exactly on that,
Mhm.
but
No one lives there right now.
There's an existing septic,
there is, yes.
so will that be crushed?
Yeah, they're moving that, yeah.
That's generally what we do. So, okay. What are we talking about for a bond, the usual?
we do about 10,000.
And that would be the only order of condition, other than the updated,
Updated plan with
To show.
restoration,
right?
which we agreed that Sabrina could approve that. Okay, I'll take a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Well, we have to close the hearing first. It's an NOI, right?
Mhm.
Oh, that's right, I'll make a motion to close the hearing.
I'll second it.
All in favor, Andy?
Andy, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, unanimous.
And a second.
Okay, now a motion for the projects.
Make a motion to approve the project with the conditions that we discussed, the plan to be submitted, what the restoration is gonna be. Show what's taken out, what's being put in before anything starts. And approved by the coordinator, by Sabrina. And with a $10,000 bond to be released when the replication or restoration rather is deemed completed.
I'll second that motion, Norm.
All in favor?
Andy Reardon, aye?
Chris Pratt, aye.
Jerry, aye.
Kevin,
So we're good, yeah. Thanks for the suggestion, Dennis. I don't like to hold people up.
If you guys want to give me that power,
Yeah,
I'll take it.
yes,
So good detail, Sabrina.
yes,
Yeah, we
very
did
good.
Which
point that out.
detail?
Oh,
How do you
Kind
know
of
what's
forgot.
supposed to be restored or?
Oh,
Oh.
right?
It's,
Yeah. So I have no idea.
is it forested or is it?
Yeah, it's a forested swamp essentially back there. They didn't know it was even wet until they started digging and for the wells working, and it was just all gray soils back there.
Mm-hmm, nice.
So,
Okay, we have an RDA for 109 Bungalow Street. Proposed project is to grind stumps and cover with topsoil within 100 feet of the lake of Congamon.
do you have to read the,
Where is it?
to open it?
Is it?
Yeah, that's for South Loomis, and then the other one, it'll say file copy in the top.
I'll read it in a second.
Got it.
Any pictures?
Ah, man.
Southern Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing of the West Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act, General Law, C 131, Section 40, the Southern Conservation Commission Regulations Bylaw, Chapter 82 and Chapter 450. Request for a determination. The project location is 109 Bungalow Street. The proposed project for the grinding of stumps 4 inches below grade and apply topsoil. All work is within the 100-foot buffer zones. Meeting will be held right now. Welcome, everybody, again. Okay.
There was a proposed scope of work that I filled out.
Please present your name and your address.
Keith Long, 109 Bungalow Street.
Thank you.
Okay, do we have a plan to see where the stumps are?
There was a proposed, that I drew up with Sabrina.
It is, what does it look like? It's in your packet. It's one of the stapled ones.
You got color pictures to put on the screen, black, white.
They are colored, but we're missing the magenta bit.
I could be lying.
I'm pretty sure they're colored. That's the NOI.
This one?
No, RDA, yep. So is it colored?
Yeah.
No, it's not
Raised
colored.
Right?
We can bring up the. Colored
In
version.
the back, you're gonna read the whole thing before you get the picture.
I know. Words.
So,
Bungalow.
Lily Drive.
Oh, he
That
spelled
embellished
bungalow
that.
wrong.
Yeah, cost me a lot of money to figure that out.
Hmm,
Hopefully this is in color. It is. Let me just share this with the world to
okay,
see.
that'd be a good idea.
Sharing is caring.
Were these recently cut down?
They were cut down, in the fall of last year through an emergency
Okay.
certificate
Very good.
filed with, obviously, Sabrina.
Yep, and then the commission rectified it after the fact. So, if you wanna look at your screens, or look at the screens above you, we have some color. This is the applicant's address. This is North Pond right here. And this is that paper street or paper road, Lily Drive.
Imaginary Road, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Never really came into fruition. And down here, let me
Yeah,
see if this one is better. Okay, so this one's a little better where it shows the approximate location of the 4 stumps. You got a stump here, 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 and here. And the closest proximity approximately is 30 feet from the lake.
And what's our grade there? Is there a,
The stumps are on a very slight grade. There's the biggest stump is the oak stump, which would be the one pretty much straight on with that.
little line to it?
Yeah,
30
that says
feet?
approximately 30 feet.
Mhm.
It's a slight grade going down.
So it wouldn't be a huge erosion factor then?
No, it's honestly, it's all, obviously, as you guys know, it's all sugar sand underneath there, so. It would just be grind below grade,
Mm-hmm,
put topsoil on top, some straw on top or whatnot, just to hold from. Light
Right.
erosion, but, I mean, the soil's so disrupted there from the geese and nothing washes. You know, it
Mhm.
doesn't wash, it's almost got a light grout, like a light gravel to that soil right there as well.
all right.
So the machinery he plans on bringing in to grind is a Lightfoot, or what do you call
It's
it?
basically just a track stump grinder. So I have
Mhm.
a tree company, I will be the contractor obviously doing it.
Mm-hmm,
You know, the trees were removed without. They were good sized trees, they were removed with no ground disturbance. Essentially, you know, and grinding the stumps is same thing, it's very easy to do without. You know, disrupting the ground, making a big mess and
mm-hmm.
to prevent erosion.
When do you propose to do the work? As soon as possible, or,
No, I'd wait till it's drier,
okay,
just
good
because,
idea.
yeah, it's
Who knows when that's gonna be?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
my yard, you know, and that's why. We
want
pulled the
traps.
yeah, well, we pulled the permit that we did, just. That way I have time and whenever the weather cooperates, we can take care of it then.
Okay. Anyone else have any questions?
Just.
Do we need a silk fence for that? Or not? Because it's 30 feet away.
No, we could suggest that, Jerry, sure.
You say it's a pretty clean operation. In your opinion, do you think anything will go flying?
if you guys want, when it's done, you could come see it so that anybody that does it in the future, if it's done the way that we do it,
Yeah.
they wouldn't need a silt fence so that you could understand it. You know? There's nothing, as you're stump grinding, you can direct it in the angle you want, position you want.
All right.
You can put a piece of plywood up to even contain it to
Mhm.
such a small area.
Plus it's your
basically.
yard, so I know you're gonna be.
It's only gonna take you a day or two to do it, right?
It would take a couple hours, basically, yeah. to do
Yeah.
the
Mhm.
job.
So then a silt fence might be more disruption.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
thinking.
yeah.
It's definitely gonna be more disruption, especially if you go the 8 inches that you guys were just talking
Right.
about,
I don't
by
think,
far.
I don't think you need one.
Okay, I'll take a motion.
I just have one thing. So with the emergency certification, the commission asks that tree replacement plantings happen. And just what's the status on those tree replacements for these?
There's,
Or,
as we talked about, you know, and of course I'll uphold my end with replacing those trees.
Mm.
I want trees back. I didn't want to cut those trees. That,
Okay.
that was my shade on my house.
Mhm.
That being said, I didn't want them to fall and hit my wall, my boats, my house,
Mhm.
or hurt somebody down on the beach.
Mhm.
But I replanted one tree, which is a sugar maple that I planted.
Mm.
I still owe, I believe, 2 trees or now 3 trees with this. Which will be done, there's gonna be a proposed scope of work probably next year sometime. I have a retaining wall on that property that's,
Okay,
it's,
You replace them.
it's a good size one, and it's about time to start thinking about that project, you know? That being said, I kind of already talked to Sabrina about it, but I would hate to plant like that sugar maple is a $400 tree. I'm not just gonna go pick a tree out of the woods and plant
Right.
it on my property. So I'm not gonna go spend, you know, a couple $1,000s in trees to then disrupt them when I have to put in
That
a
makes
retaining
sense.
wall and do the scope of work.
Yep.
But if I say I'm gonna do it, I will do it. I can promise you that. And like I said, I want the trees on my property anyway,
okay.
so,
We can work that into your next plan for your
yeah.
wall.
Yeah, and we could speak about that for sure when
Okay,
there's gonna have to be a proposed scope of work, just like he had with
Right.
full plans, and I'm sure, you know, replication of the trees and
Yep.
whether the old wall has to be removed, whether a new wall hopefully can go in place so that it doesn't, I mean, the disruption, if we had to pull that wall out would be.
so we'll see
tremendous,
what
you know?
happens when you have it assessed.
Yes,
We can
yeah,
go from there,
yeah.
but that makes sense to me to not put things where they're gonna be
I already put
disrupted
that,
later.
yeah, I already put that one $400 tree in the way, and that's gonna have to be tried. Like
Scooped.
removed now, hopefully without disrupting the roots, and then
Mhm.
hopefully transplanted. So
Right.
I'd rather not do that with 3 or 4 other trees or whatever's proposed, you know?
Okay, and this is an RDA, so I will take a motion.
Motion to negatively approve.
Negative
Define the project
determination.
Negative determination. I'll second that. Dennis seconds it.
Okay, Andy,
Andy Reardon, aye.
Chris Pratt, aye.
Jerry, I.
Kevin,
All right. We're good.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you very much for coming in.
Or
Stopping the shares. Whoa.
Okay, new business, proposed minor change to silt fence at 1 Hudson Drive.
Have a Mr. Reardon here today.
Hi, Mr. Reardon.
Shall he,
Woodside Circle.
shall he recuse himself?
I
or-
recuse myself from over there and I'll
Yeah.
stand over here.
Perfect.
It's not the silt fence, it's actually the permanent fence.
Oh,
Right.
at least to me.
Oh. It's the fence. And it's just a tiny little thing, but I don't wanna be coming back and saying, oh, I changed this, I changed that, I changed this, I changed that, at the end of the ordeal. So here at the corner of the driveway. The plans show the existing fence. Is like this for the existing facility,
Mhm.
which kind of made sense. But now, when we open it up and we'll have heavier traffic coming this way, I'd like to take this red area and just put the fence across. There's a nice.
Give you more turning radius.
Yeah,
Or-
and yeah, it'll give room for a little better snow removal and whatnot. That right now is kind of a cantankerous little corner with the snow. You
Mhm.
plow this way, you plow that way, then you have to push it back out of the corner. So there's a nice tree right here. And other than that, it's just kind of open. I sent you a couple photos this morning.
Yeah, I haven't seen them. Don't send me things the day of.
All right, that's why I sent them early, like 9:50.
Doesn't matter.
Get 'em. But yeah, it's just open in here. There's really nothing. And this is the 50-foot in blue and 100-foot in green. And the
Okay.
red areas, but will be affected.
Seems very minor.
Yeah.
Very it's gonna improve his snow removal,
Yeah, and you get like a U-Haul truck, like a 28-foot U-Haul truck, taking that swing, it just
Yeah.
needs to be pushed open.
So what are you trying to do? You want,
The
so we're-
existing fence,
yeah,
it goes like this right now,
straight
it
across.
follows that track and then comes straight across. And we did that to avoid the 100-foot. When we built the existing facility, but now we're gonna would
You
like
want-
to put the fence like that,
okay,
just to open this corner up, the red area. We did it in color.
yeah, I like it. Okay. Just
But I
gonna-
didn't want to come back at the end with 100 changes like we keep seeing.
Right.
It's kind of annoying,
Mhm.
so.
Do you guys see it,
Ask
Dennis?
for the
Did you
change before
have
we
a
do
chance
it.
to Look at
I'm
it.
good with it.
Seems
Okay,
okay to me.
I'll take a motion.
I'll move to accept the project.
I'll second that. All in favor? Ben?
Dennis, aye.
Have a nice.
Thank you.
I'm gonna need you to draw on the plan that we have
Okay.
and color it just like.
Well,
I did.
bring my pencils.
Make it pretty. Okay. And we already introduced Lucas Karen,
Yes, but he wants to talk about a little project. that he
social
wants to
media
do.
project.
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay.
So last summer, I ran a couple social medias, Facebook, Twitter for my grandparents' business Southwoods.
Mhm.
Just basic advertisement, getting people informed. And I figured, I could do something similar for the Conservation Commission. I'm already for my internship research in the Wetlands Protection Act and other related
Okay.
bylaws. So I figured that if I were given access to a Facebook account for us, I could, inform the public about it so that they understand what we're doing and why we exist.
Great idea.
I think
Yeah.
it's awesome.
Many people don't even understand that we exist and that there are regulations, and, so I mean, I think it's a great idea myself.
Yeah.
But I think it would have to be, things that go on that need to be approved by
Yeah.
us. And, the design, come to us with a design, I'm sure we'll love it, but we'd like to have input on it is what I'm saying.
Of course, yeah,
Okay, and approve stuff that gets put on.
yeah.
All right,
But, one of the things
Any-
we run into with like the Boy Scout troop is like
Mhm.
somebody will design a web page or something, and then they move on. And no one knows the passwords or.
Oh, yeah.
And so if you can design that in that.
well, I think they have to
No,
go to the
make sure to
office,
give it to
right?
Sabrina.
It would be under my.
Yeah, and be able to
email.
manage it.
You need that,
Maybe she'd be the manager, but yes,
He could,
Diane,
you need an exit strategy.
Black Point Grove Road, other boards and commissions who wanted to do social media sites had to bring it to the select board with the proposal, what they're gonna do and what the controls are gonna be.
Yep.
To get approval before you can go ahead, and then it would require submission to this board before it's posted.
okay,
To be official, yeah.
okay, so now we have a process.
All right. Hey, I'm willing to fight for it.
Good, thanks, Diane.
No, that's great.
Yeah, and I think it's a good idea to get the word out to the public that, we do exist and
Last time we talked about it, we were talking about printing it on brochures.
then nobody's gonna throw
Yeah.
it away, yeah.
I think it's a lot more accessible.
You
Yeah.
got things like how to plant a silk fence.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and even on that, we can put our little QR code for all the open space areas and our open space plan maybe.
And why we shouldn't be dumping leaves in the lake, stuff like that. and just
Correct.
put that on there.
Or feed the geese and, all little notifications like that.
Yeah.
There could be links to click on for the state and for our other site. Sounds
You
good
do
to
the
me.
work,
I mean,
Lucas?
Hmm?
Are you the webmaster in this case? You do the
Yeah,
work?
I'd say so.
Good. It's good.
I All right. So select board it is, make an appointment, get it on the agenda.
Are you still doing stuff like that?
Oh, yeah. I'm
So you
still,
could work, you could work directly with.
CRC,
I
yeah.
need help, I'm a
I'd appreciate
webmaster.
that, yeah.
Okay, so there's a stargazing thing event coming up at Sopanowski property or?
No, it's not an event. So I had actually an Agawam resident contact me asking for permission. He's part of the Springfield Stars Club.
Okay,
And Mr. Ed Fates, I think, had told him how he was going to be doing an event at Sofanowski. So that's how this person heard about it. And because he lives in Agawam, there's a lot of light pollution. And I assume there's a lot of people that are running into that situation where over at Sofanowski, there isn't as much, if any, light pollution. So he's requesting to use the property at sundown to take his telescope out, his personal telescope, and just stargaze on its own.
This be a regular event or just a one?
It's just when he wants to go. So I'm not sure. I told him, like, we probably want you to contact the Southwick Police Department ahead of time to let them know you're gonna be on the property. Let me know.
right.
And then I can also just kind of inform the neighbors just in case.
Mhm.
And I'm not sure if you guys want me to write something up saying
Keep a
like,
log of when.
keep a log or even just like a piece of paper saying, hey, I have permission from the Southwick Conservation Commission.
Oh,
in
for
case-
him.
For him, in case someone asks him like, what are you doing here?
Mhm.
If you guys will let him.
He'll be driving in the dark. Typically, you want it as dark as possible. when you're
Right.
Stargazing,
Yeah.
so he's gonna need
He'll
to
probably
see
be
his way through. Others-
Walking in from
others
the
will
bottom.
feed.
Right, with the
Whether-
flashlights.
Whether he's
and-
driving or walking.
Mhm.
What's the process when 7 other people ask the same question? 10 other people, you know, I
Mhm.
mean, that's, how do you replicate this? How do you duplicate it so other people can do the same thing? Because if Pete, you wanna go, and you wanna go, and I wanna go,
Mhm.
now there's 5 of us out there with a telescope. So how do the 5 of us get?
They combine and join a
Hmm.
group.
Is there even like a,
It'll make
like
it-
hours of like that are open or like, is there like in like the, you know, like all of our like. Land area, like is there like a set of rules, like when we're allowed to use them or something? So is that why he has to ask for
Right.
permission? He's
Yeah,
only
sunrise,
supposed-
sunset.
Sunset, yeah,
Yeah.
that's okay.
But, you know, he gets a piece of paper.
Yeah,
He's
Kind of
up there.
waiver-
Who knows if he's
waiver for
really
that.
stargazing or
Have a standard waiver for people with.
not that there's
petition
much
if they
else to
wanted
do.
that,
Yeah.
just one-time events, not like a continuous. You know, every
I was just
Sunday.
wondering why he needed to get permission, but it's because he's going there
Because
after.
After,
hours.
yeah,
Sundown.
it would
Yeah.
look kind of suspicious.
Yeah, yeah,
if
no, and I
it's-
get
if
that,
he's
it's
there,
very
yeah.
likely somebody would probably call because somebody's out there, but I was just-
Mhm.
And we won't allow motorized vehicles, correct?
I don't want him to drive out
No.
there. And it's like even. I don't even think he can get there. It's really wet, but I wouldn't want him to drive
Can
out.
you
there.
look into that with the legal to find out what kind of waiver we need to give them, if have to be in
Mhm.
writing?
Should we bring that to the select board too?
I was just gonna
Yeah.
send her a text to suggest that.
Don't
Yeah,
send a
thank-
text. I'll
Yeah,
never get it.
Because
I don't
I
even
mean,
know.
that's town property. It's not just conservation, but it's also town property, so we're not sure of liabilities and things like that. So,
And conditions like no bonfires and things like
oh,
that.
there's,
Right.
Obvious.
no, there couldn't be
Obvious, no.
anything like that, right? All the no alcohol rules still apply.
Let me put down my beer so we can get started.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Okay.
LBC and stars.
Right.
Well, that'll go before the select board as well.
Hmm.
All right, discussion on docks not completely removed from the lake. Sabrina, do you have a list or?
I do.
Norm, do you have a list?
Norm?
I have.
Norm is our doc.
I have a list.
How's that, Dennis?
Got somebody waiting to talk, I mean,
Yep, I don't know.
could move him up on the agenda, that's.
Oh, yeah, the
Noble
Noble Steed update. If you guys
Steed,
want
that's
it,
for old business.
it's under old business. Yep.
There was somebody in the audience that wanted to talk about 107.
Right, and that's old business as well, so we can we can move to old business, so we'll
Mhm.
address the rest of that new stuff later. So Jeff, do you wanna come up? Hey, we're gonna look at Noble Steed
Yep.
update.
So in your folders, you have something called NOI 2920280. This is his most recent report.
You can just state your name, Jeff, and who you're with.
I'm Jeff Smith, Southern Associates, and I'm here representing Salt Marsh Construction for Noble Speed. The first thing is, there was he needs to extend his order of conditions, so I filled out I emailed it to you. but- So, yeah, a copy, I don't think you guys all need copies of these, right?
No.
So there's that. And then. Did you want copies of
Of the report, I already,
Okay, good.
they have that
All right, very good.
somewhat in color. It'll get better.
Oh, I'm sorry, I got the pictures.
Yep,
Did you get these pictures today?
I probably got them today.
Okay.
I haven't,
You wanna
didn't go through my
have
email.
those.
Thank you.
So, Jesse went out there today. I met with him last week on Friday. He went out and he took care of a couple of items on the to-do list.
Okay.
By no means.
There's a lot.
of everything.
Okay.
Did take care of some of the major things. I pointed out, this is a major area. This is where the silt is getting into the resource. You gotta address this.
Mhm.
And here's this is where you're getting erosion off the bank, it's getting in the road, and then it just accelerates across the road and exacerbates your problem down here.
Mhm.
We took care of those.
That's what we do.
So I'll try to,
Mm.
if it's dry, I don't see a need to go out there on a weekly basis, but if we get a storm event, I will go out. Like, the week before last, we got over an inch of rain. In 36 hour period, so I'll address that immediately after it happens. But I do want to try to get him up to speed on a few other things. I think he needs to put some straw with tack fire or something. He's got a lot of bare ground out there that,
I would love that.
Mhm.
If he did that, that'd be great.
so
Mhm.
I think that updates you guys on.
That's
Noble
great.
Speed.
I appreciate that.
Well, that's my job, so.
No.
Then, you want me to update you on boat binding also?
I mean, it's not on the agenda, but you
It's
can,
under old business, it's.
More buying subdivision,
Is it?
possible wetland
Okay.
violations.
all right. The subdivision, yep,
So. The same thing, I know. The subdivision, right now it's mostly the access road. coming
Right.
directly off, so he's got some stone for. That seems to be working fine. There is some erosion on one of the banks where I talked to him about maybe putting some small riprap along parallel to the road. And core log on the bank just to kind of keep it out. I mean, it's not going into a resource area, but. It's
Is that right where it comes out of the resource area?
it's
on the way up the
downstream
hill?
of the resource area where when it's really wet, it does
Right.
come down the bank, exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah, so. But, I mean. Run on is as bad as run off. I mean, you're just making your work harder if you got water running onto your job site, so.
Mhm.
So anyways, I have reports for that. We still have to go out and we're gonna use wooden stakes to do the 100-foot buffer. I think
Remark
one of you
it.
gentlemen,
We talked about marking
right,
it.
instead of, right now, I just have them tied on the tree branches.
Okay.
But we're
Yeah,
gonna go
somebody
out,
wanted stakes, I think.
mhm,
Well, the order of conditions say that the markers have to stay until the order of conditions are met.
Yeah.
So the flags on the trees aren't gonna last 2 years.
Right.
They won't.
Right.
We already agreed.
we've
that we
already-
would Go out there,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
saying
And
that
so
we're
we
gonna
talked
go out
about
there. and do it.
replacing those.
It's a matter of. Time is tight right now, the conditions aren't that good, but I'll probably go out with one of the surveyors and do that in the next week or two. So we have some dry weather coming.
Mhm. In between the
Mhm.
snowstorms.
Well, yeah, we'll get out there.
Very-
Like I said earlier, if I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. Man of my word, so. And then 72 more finding the single family house, so I expected that. He does have some of the fill he brought in knocked over some of the silt fence,
yeah,
and I'll have Val fix that.
He did ask, it's kind of problem where the excavated hole for his foundation is filled with water, and I explained about him about putting a dewatering device in and pumping it out into an upland area, so, if you don't have any problem with that, I think that gets him working, that gets his foundation in, and he's got less exposed soil for a shorter time if he could do that.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Which silt fence was it affecting?
It
This
was on the
is it the 100?
right-hand side, it's the 100.
Okay.
Yes, there's
Yeah, that-
nothing touching the 50. He's
Yeah.
got a nice buffer between his workspace and the 50-foot.
Mm.
But the 100-foot buffer, he's knocked over part of it with the excavation, the material he brought in, or maybe it's, or he dug back out for his foundation, I'm not sure which, but anyways,
All right.
so, that's a pretty tight site, so, anyways, I'll work with him on that. So that's it for the for Val's 2 jobs. So,
Okay, thank you.
all right.
Appreciate
That's
that.
all.
You might as well
Mhm.
stick with, old business and go to 107 South Loomis Street.
Good. Thanks for.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Jeff.
you.
Appreciate it.
Here.
Yep.
Not mine,
Merry Christmas.
unless it was a fine.
Anybody have Westfield backpacks? Everybody.
Okay, so,
So Sabrina,
I didn't have any updates on this.
okay, and we do have somebody online that would like to
Yes.
speak to it, so we will allow that now. We have somebody online?
Hutzinger?
Is this Mr.
He's still
Singer?
muted there.
I asked him to
Oh,
unmute.
you asked him to.
Can you hear me now?
There you go.
Thank
Yep,
you.
you're on.
Thank you. Name is Richard Utzinger at 146 South Loomis Street. Can you give me a rundown, roughly the Reader's Digest version, the last 5 years of any progress you have made with the situations at 107 South Loomis Street?
Explain to us what the situation is we're supposed to be looking at.
Situation being, the yard is full of commercial vehicles. There's a tractor trailer been sitting there for months with no engine. The backwoods is full of commercial vehicles, trucks and trailers. He's filled in wetlands, which I believe you know about, and I believe the state was involved. And I don't see anything happening. I've been walking by there for years. I've lived in that street for almost 60 years. I don't see anything happening through conservation, taking care of the issues there. So if you plan to do something, I'd like to know what and I'd like to know when.
Well, we did take care of the situation that we had the enforcement order for many years involved with the DEP. That had been resolved. If there's additional situations out there, other than the cars and the trailers, because that's outside of conservation's jurisdiction, I believe. Last time we did talk with Diane Gale suggested that we get maybe a drone to fly over to see what it looks like out there. I know that there's a couple of dogs on the property. You probably don't want to walk on that well, you can't walk on the property, it's illegal, but.
But he's also crossed over wetlands. He's put just a couple pieces of pipe down there and filled in with dirt. I believe the state was out there one time and said he filled in probably 6 feet with wood chips into wetlands. I believe you were up there one time with them.
It took enough of the wood chips out to come into compliance. The culvert that was in there was pre-existing, so that was out of our jurisdiction or enforcement at the time. That has been resolved. That enforcement order had been resolved with a wetland consultant, the DEP. One of the representatives from, I believe it was Representative Baldiga, was involved with it also. But if there's something new out there, then we should see if we can take a look at it somehow. You have to get permission to go on his property, or I'm not sure how it works with a drone. We'd have to talk to the police to see if it's legal to fly a drone over the property. I know those laws changed quite a bit, but I'm not familiar with the current status of that.
So basically, it's just gonna be the status quo. Everybody gets to look at it and walk by, and you don't have to walk by it, so you don't have to see it. Okay.
Well, there's not much we can do about the vehicles that are out there. That's not conservation unless they're in a wetland. I would suggest bring that to the select board, maybe. I don't know.
Have any of you even driven by the situation, driven by the area and looked at it?
I've seen it. I've seen the stuff on the property. There's quite the collection. And I thought there was a bylaw about unregistered cars not being allowed on the property, unregistered vehicles. So you might have an edge as far as.
We have to talk to zoning enforcement to see, because there's been. Video used to tell everybody there was a fine for unregistered vehicles, but I'm not sure if that was even true. You know, that's outside of our jurisdiction. We'd be happy to investigate in whatever way possible. You know, we'll have somebody get in touch with the police and see if possible to get some drone footage to see if there are any additional wetland violations that have occurred since the original violation.
Okay, I guess. Thank you for your time.
Okay. Thanks for coming.
So Sabrina, you could get in touch with the person who's in charge of the drone and ask them how that works.
I think there's an elevation, it has to stay a certain.
The laws have changed so much. Before, you couldn't specify somebody's property,
Okay,
but I'm not sure if that's. I'm sure that the police know exactly.
yes, I'm sure. Okay,
And I'm not gonna speculate.
very good.
Screen share, please.
Can I screen share?
Yeah, we're gonna go back to our doc.
You want me to,
I want
You want-
show my screen.
can you do,
Says host disabled participant screen share.
try it now?
There we
There
go.
we go.
Okay. So over the holiday season, I was able to book a ride with a bass fisherman, which is long after my boat had been removed from the lake. And I wanted to check all three ponds to see how many violations we had for docks that hadn't been removed. And I have pictures of the docks that I'll show you in a minute, but I also came across a secondary issue that we should at least debate on what we want to do with. And that is what I will call partial removal of docks and fixtures, okay? And now I'll show you some of the pictures, okay? Okay. This is actually a photo from August of 22, 8 Beach Road. And I have this one here because there was a rumor that he had a Chapter 91 license. And if you look at, I'm gonna move this. Here's the same picture today. And you can see the dock has been extended quite a bit.
Mhm.
And
Has it been confirmed or denied about his chapter
I
license?
got the latest list from Dick Reynolds today. 8 Beach Road is not on the list right now. Dick says he hasn't updated the list in a while. So it's possible it could be a Chapter 91, but even if it is, he modified it. He modified his dock, and unless he modified his Chapter 91 license, he's in violation.
Correct.
Is that the one
near the town beach?
Yes, these docks here in front are from the old Krabby Joe's that they removed. Okay. So it's right next to Krabby Joe's.
It's still out.
It's still out. I was out there this weekend.
Hmm.
Okay. Then, this one here is 655 Forest Road in Suffield. I believe this one is now removed. Turtle Cove. I can't see this one. Okay. The next one, well, this is an example of partial removal. This happens to be on Eagle Street. And I'm saying in total, I would say I saw 25 violations, most of them of this variety. They have thought this
this swim platform and the remaining part of the dock into the shore, and they have a cable running. But if we had a good ice-in season, when ice out came, this would,
Do nothing.
that cable wouldn't hold anything, okay? And we saw, there are numerous examples of this that I saw. Unfortunately, I was having camera trouble that day. So I was out there, so a lot of my photos didn't come out. Okay. Then here are two docks that I took this picture actually this week. I believe this is 61 and 66 Lakemont Street. And one of them happens to be Frank Grillo's, and he said,
He said he was gonna take it out.
yeah,
Right.
it's still in, as is his neighbor, okay? So 3 of the 4 that I saw are still in the water. And here, this is the picture from Lakemont
Mhm.
that I took in December, okay, from the boat.
Dennis, the one on the right, does that one have a chapter 91?
No,
There's no
That's-
Lakemont, I don't believe so.
I thought that was the one that went over the wetland. The
Lakemont
only,
Street has a, yeah, they have a, notice of intent and order of conditions
Yeah.
on that. That they can keep that in there year round,
So they have a chapter 91
not
Lakemont?
chapter 91 local permit.
I'll do a local.
because it
We
would be
keep it in-
more,
With conditions, it had to be illuminated, you know, in the
Yeah.
winter time, so
Yep.
things like that.
He spanned the wetlands.
so it'd be more disturbance to take it out than it would be to leave it in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the Conservation Commission approved that one.
Yes,
That
And
one
we-
was.
and it doesn't require an annual.
he does take the end part out of there, but not the.
It usually doesn't look like it is now.
This part's in there.
Yeah, it's in the ice.
What's the address again? That's,
I believe it's
50
61. Well, I believe one of them is 61 and one of them is 66.
Johnson,
Yeah. Okay, so we gotta decide what we wanna do about the 3 remaining docks. And then some other pictures I took from on shore. This happens to be one of the association properties where they removed the outer part of the dock, but the inner portion they left in the water.
Mhm.
You know, again, a severe ice freeze and then an ice out would pull that out without too much difficulty. And also on this street here is a boat left where all 4 legs are still in the water. They've moved it into shore, but and what's more distressing than this one, because these are very heavy. and These weigh thousands of pounds. I saw 2 PWCs, personal watercraft lifts in the water at the shoreline. And they weigh probably 200 to 250 pounds each that could easily be moved with ice. And if moved out into shallow, deeper water, could be released. It could be just under the surface of the water, could be a serious boat accident in the spring. Those are the 2 worst ones that I saw. Unfortunately, those pictures didn't come out. And then I have.
So those, even though they weigh that much, they could take those out of the water.
Yeah.
150 pounds, sure,
That's
Yeah,
nothing.
sure. Yeah,
but 2 thousands of pounds things,
yeah.
a little more difficult.
And this is another swim platform that was moved into shore, okay? And if you look back at. Oops. No, I don't have, but anyways, the document says all structures need to be out of the water by December 1st. So I think we have 2 issues. We have to handle, what are we gonna do about the 3 docks that haven't been removed? And then secondarily, I was thinking that since we have the letter going out in 2 weeks to all lake residents about the LPP permit, we could incorporate a letter with a couple of pictures saying that this will not be tolerated next year.
Well, it won't be tolerated this year
This
either.
year.
Well,
Yeah,
No,
I understand what you're saying, get the word out,
But
but
send out the letters that people that are in violation right now saying
You're not
you
getting
must
it.
remove them or we'll start finding you.
well, I think we start finding them because they've been notified.
You
Well,
got
one of
to
them-
give
one of
have
them
to give
has.
them the notice.
Well,
so.
Yeah.
that.
Oh, the finding notice you're talking about, yeah.
Okay, that, I agree with that for the docks,
Yeah,
but for the partial removal.
Partial removal is not a removal.
Unless,
I agree.
unless they have permission, unless they have it in writing from conservation, that they can do a partial removal, that doesn't.
I don't have an address of all of the locations because my picture didn't come out.
Right.
Okay.
So your suggestion, Norm, would be to put that on the information with the
The,
next
the,
letter.
the risk this year on the partial removals of having a severe ice in is very low because we've had minimal ice.
Right.
And the lake is basically open. If we would take a super freeze to freeze that lake down. So the risk is low for any, the safety risk is low for this year. I would say, take the action on the $3.
Yeah,
And send a letter saying that next year the partial removal will not be tolerated.
Mhm.
That's my recommendation.
So the boat lifts, like you're saying, they're thousands of pounds
Yeah,
and they're moving them in towards the shore, but to totally remove those,
that would
could they
be-
get a
They should get a waiver
letter to say, you know,
yeah,
if they,
yeah.
because that'd be extraordinary.
they'll have an exception,
effort to get that out of there.
right? We've done that with other docks,
Yeah,
you know,
But yeah, concentrate on the ones that are,
right?
get those letters out. And you have to give them, I forget, what is it, 30 days or before we find them? It's in a bylaw, it's in our bylaws.
Nobody's ever paid a fine for any of this.
Well, we can send it on,
Threatening, but they never,
I've gotten fines, I've gotten people pay fines.
not for any.
no, we just have to file it with the police department, or how does that work, Dennis?
You have to have a registered letter to them saying you're gonna be fined, you know, you have to.
And if they don't pay it, then,
You
Then
send
write
them,
a ticket out. and
Yeah.
That goes to down to the treasurer's office.
and then there's a lien on their deed.
uh, I don't know.
They
if it
won't
goes that
issue any
far.
permits to them if
Right.
there's a ticket, they have to pay the ticket before they get any permits for. I believe even for a dump sticker or anything, they'd have to pay that fine.
All right.
Transfer station sticker, I'm sorry.
Yeah, good correction, Dennis. Well, nicely done, Norm, as always. Okay, updated LPP forms. We have them in our packet. I saw them online or on email. Review those for approval. We have Connecticut. And Mass. You can see that Connecticut has no monetary information because they don't pay individually. That comes from the town of Suffield. But they do have to register their docks and submit a plan.
Have you got any communications with the Connecticut Select?
I spoke to them personally about a meeting, but I think Mr. Morgan was supposed to get in touch with him to have a formal meeting.
You think Jason Perot is-
Jason is?
Yeah, he's gonna leave, yeah.
Okay,
I have no update today.
okay. But I did speak with Colin Mall, and we did talk about a meeting, but I said it would come from the select board. I'd asked him if he had gotten any word, and he had at that time.
I'm pretty sure Jason is.
Okay,
Make sure we have that secured. before
Right.
We go too far in Connecticut.
yeah.
Has the LMC had a chance to look at these or?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, and their
So
comments
they're
were,
happy with the content?
yeah, their comments were heard.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
That's good that they got involved.
Yeah.
yeah, Chief Landis as well. Has seen it.
Okay. Well, we're getting them fine tuned finally
Mhm.
and I think-
Anybody have any comments or concerns with that? Looking good?
So I make a motion to approve the forms then? We have to actually formally vote on them, right?
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the forms as is.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Andy Reardon, aye.
Dennis, I.
Norm, I.
Chris Pratt, aye.
Next.
There it is.
Land management.
All right. Land management discussion, so if LC land preserve, wood chip pile and damage gate.
Yeah,
Is that gate that's damaged? Is that going up the hill?
it's the gate that, like, you just passed the garden,
Mhm.
the gate, kind of where the sign says the rules and everything.
Right.
So that's, it was damaged somehow. It's a swing gate and it like, you can lock it to a pole. And the
Mhm.
pole has been bent and like knocked over. So I don't know if the gate still works, but at least the pole needs to be replaced.
Okay,
So like new pole and dug, I don't know, up to 4 feet deep because of the permafrost thing
Mhm.
with cement. That needs to be done. And then there's still piles of wood chips that need to be spread out. I know
Yeah.
Kevin said he
My
was,
skid steer's got it's broken right now, but it'll probably be fixed in a week or two, I don't know.
so you're still planning
spread
on,
those, yeah.
okay.
great.
So we're doing,
We had the hasty fence do the other fence over by Gway's. I don't know if you want to check with them to see. if
What a
it-
price,
Hasty,
hasty fence or an Agawam.
how do you spell that
HASTIE.
fence?
There's also Signature Fence that did some work for conservation.
That's good. It means they're in the books. Nice work.
Okay, we
Um,
got Granville Gorge kiosk roof.
Yeah, we have a kiosk at the Granville Gorge, it's just we're missing a roof. I thought Mr. Drennan was gonna top it off. He's busy doing other life things. So it would be nice if someone could, the kiosk is based off of the same exact measurements as the one at North Pond. So if we can get the measurements, I can order the materials and we might be able to just put it up ourselves, or I'll pay somebody to do it. It needs to be done.
There's no roof on it,
There's no roof on it. We built it, just the frame,
just the frame, there's no plywood on there.
no
There
plywood,
was a metal roof on the other one.
yeah.
Just a tin roof.
Oh, is that what you're
So the
proposing to
pin's
put
not
in?
on
Yeah.
I have metal at my house for a roof. You just need to be able to cut it.
We need the ridge cap.
Corrugated
We're
or-
on North Pond still, right? The
Mhm.
top center piece is missing.
No, that shouldn't be too expensive. We can buy one.
Those
Two.
things are, a lot of times they fit the pattern of whatever.
But which,
company
which
did the
type
roof.
it is, right?
Yeah.
Right, so if it's a Chris Pratt roof, you gotta get it.
It will be
Chris
different.
Pratt cap.
Definitely
Right.
different.
Right, so
Sorry.
you gotta kind of figure
Yeah.
out where we got the metal the first time.
I don't know.
There was a trailer up at Gristmill Plaza with metal roofs on it. Last winter, it's like a display. I don't know if Timmy would know who that, it must have been there, Timmy's
Right,
blessing.
yeah.
I don't know, you guys don't remember seeing it. I was there for
No.
like a month or two, like up in front of the bank. Well, different types of metal roofs.
I don't remember it at all.
Yeah.
Very observant of me. All
Um,
right,
So is anybody willing to go out and at least take the measurements of the roof?
got North
Um,
Pond?
Yeah.
I can do that.
Well, North Pond and the Gorge, right?
So we know, this is it's the same exact one.
Yeah, I'll go look at both.
So we get the measurements at the North Pond so we can know how much material, and size that we need at the gorge.
Yep.
So Chris will do that. Thank you.
Okay, where else? Oh, North Pond Conservation Property Recyclables.
Yeah, so back in the fall time, we had a Girl Scout come in proposing recycle bins at the North Pond property. This was actually to solve a problem that we were having where the regular trash and the recyclables weren't being separated at our properties. And somebody had mentioned that and said that they would like them to be separated. So I had thought that maybe a Girl Scout troop, brownie troop, would want to have a collectible bin out there and be able to collect the money. So that's why that, the brownie person came in and proposed that project. So it's February now, and if we are going to have them do it, I think we should be able to give them ample time to purchase the receptacle and plan ahead. Because we got like 4 months before trash really starts piling up.
You're waiting for us.
Yeah. They had a few options that they proposed to you guys in the presentation. So,
So we have to pick one of the options.
yeah. I
Okay.
can resend the,
Yeah, send us the options again.
Yeah, I think there's really only one option.
I thought we picked the one at the
Yeah.
meeting.
The other was have Casella come in or somebody like that. That's not an option, really, it's not about money.
what's the,
We've got to get some
Trash
bins out
removal.
there and, we.
they were proposing possibly having the funds go to like the Lions Club
Yeah,
and different types of receptacles. They had a couple options, so.
I thought didn't they show one like where they were gonna construct something like the Lions
Yeah.
Club have?
Yeah, that was something that
Like,
was a
that's probably, like, the
possibility.
best option, cause like a portable, cause the other option was like a portable can, which can get knocked over easily and stuff. I think that
Mhm.
if they're gonna do something, we should have them do something like they have, the Lions Club has.
Mhm.
yeah.
More like a, it's not permanent, but it's not gonna like, you said, get knocked over or anything.
We were even talking about working with the Lions Club. weren't we?
Yeah.
So that would be awesome.
Or they could just keep the money themselves. Go on their
I
trip.
didn't know they were waiting for us. I thought.
Yeah.
That was all set, that's all.
Okey
All
dokey.
right, review and approve FY 25 conservation budget. So we're gonna have a copy of proposal.
Yeah.
Exciting for,
I've never done that before, so. I had talked to Joe Didi and he said that this is gonna be a level funded year, so he requested that we did not increase anything. However, it's reality, things cost money. Just going through on the first page, sorry, you guys all have a copy of this.
I know property taxes go up, so can air spending go up?
So the first one would be the conservation coordinator, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Part-time maintenance, so that's the new salary that we had put on last year for buildings and grounds person to go out to our other properties and collect the trash. So that's actually been working out really well, and I think as far as I increased it. I think by
2% raise.
2%, yeah. And in the last page of the 5-year projection, I continue to increase it by 2%. So in 2030, it would be $1,948. So that's what that increase is about. Part-time secretary, we had that added on last year as a salary. I think it's working out well. So we flatlined that. And then down to the conservation operations, we have land maintenance, flatlined that. Dues, they actually went up because dues have gone up. So we're requesting a bit more money, about $100 more. Travel and conference, this is working out well, so we flatlined that. We have the Westfield Watershed membership, I just flatlined that. consultant. We tend to not use all of that money, but I still believe that that's a necessary budget that we should have on hand in case we need that. And then supplies, I actually upped that because historically before COVID, we would spend more than $800. So I upped that to $1,200. And then in the next page is a change, and that's actually for my position. I don't know if this is legal, but I did it myself. Not sure if you
You
guys.
can always ask. Sabrina.
I mean, I'm not sure if I'm the one that should be writing this or if you guys should be writing this, but,
Well, We would be getting the input from you.
Yeah.
Right, so I mean,
so this is my input right now. I do
Yeah.
not have enough time just to do the basics. It is absolutely insane. I have never not been able to do my job, and I'm not being able to do my job with 24 hours a week. So I did give a brief explanation of my request. Conservation coordinator needs more hours to complete state mandated tasks like the local permitting program, the Wetland Protection Act, application review and project monitoring, conservation restriction monitoring, which has been non-existent, wetland violation research, which I have little time to do, and enforcement, which I have little time to do, as well as time to complete projects with land management and public education. Like conservation has over 500 acres of land that we need to manage. I don't have time to do that. So I increased the hours from 24 to 37.5 hours at an hourly rate of $25 per hour to the total amount of $48,750. So you guys can say yay or nay or change it around, but that's what I'm proposing.
So if you talk to their liaison from the finance committee yet?
no. I
Mr.
think not.
Didi,
Is it Mr. Didi?
it is Mr. Didi,
It is,
yeah.
So,
All I know is you said everything was level funded. There's no room for
That's what he
addition.
said.
But like I said, we need to ask, we need to show the need, or else we're negligent in doing what we're supposed to do. And then if there's not enough time for you to do your job and something happens, then I think that helps our case of saying we need to improve things. It needs to come from the budget.
when are the budgets due by?
Today. Actually, Friday they were due. So, but what can you do when you have meetings scheduled
Mhm.
at different times?
So what, we ask for this and they say no, then what happens? Then we have.
Then we
Then it'll be just like every other year.
You'll
We've
find
asked
out,
before,
you'll find out at town meeting when
Dennis,
it's not approved.
yeah,
Like what happened to Dennis every year.
every year we've asked.
Beg for it every year. We tried to get a few extra hours for it.
And we gave good
I just
reasons.
couldn't do it. I was putting in 35 hours a week. and
Right,
not
yeah,
getting paid for it. I just couldn't do it.
and I'm walking away at 24.
Yeah,
Like I said,
Nothing's getting
everybody's-
done.
Everybody's property taxes have gone up, so.
Mhm.
yeah,
Well, we can
that's a deal.
make the case.
I think
You
it's
know what?
warranted once
You should
again.
come to the finance committee meeting and tell them.
We need to vote on this.
Yeah, well, why don't we vote to accept this, or
As proposed.
deny it as proposed?
I don't know if you guys want to add
Anybody
anything.
wants to make a motion?
How about increasing the secretary fee a bit too?
Two,
Just
Nobody wants
2% maybe?
2%?
So that,
These are hardworking people.
Sure.
I'd like to see that.
Secretary?
Yep.
so that would be,
So,
would that be 2% per hour?
Well, 2% is 2%.
Yeah, it doesn't matter whether it's the whole amount or hourly, because it'll work out the same.
Well, it does because she works hourly. She's not working a set amount of hours. She works, she does,
Well, her
she comes in
budget
and she
is,
does her job.
Yeah.
so
I would
she-
say hourly then, because
Yeah.
that would reflect the actual amount of
Okay.
work.
Um,
Hourly. I don't know how everybody else feels about that, but
you make the motion, Jer.
I would
Yep.
like to see that. That the secretarial position get increased by 2% hourly.
Okay, I'll second that. All in favor?
Andy Reardon, aye.
Dennis, I,
Nor I.
Chris Pratt, aye.
Aye.
Kevin, so like that.
All right, unanimous.
Both of these ladies work very hard.
No,
And now
Yeah.
Lucas does.
For free.
attaboy, Lucas.
That's okay, you get valuable experience.
That's true.
Although money would be nice.
Okay. I don't see any other business other than executive session.
Yeah, there's no real update for 13 Berkshire.
Okay, so we will now move into executive session. Take a motion on that. You go in executive session pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter C 30A, exception 4. Move to go in executive session to discuss the development of security personnel or devices or strategies with respect thereto. No reconvene in open session.
And what do I do about this? I forgot.
It's a shutdown.
So, okay,
So we are
we are
closing our meeting to the public.
8:31.
at
Thank you very much,
8:31.
Chair.